welcome to St. Brigids Farm. My name is Judy Gifford, and this is my partner Robert Fry, and together we own and operate St. Brigids Farm in Kennedyville, Maryland, centrally located in the middle of nowhere, as the locals like to say. When we started this farm, it was a deserted dairy farm. The grass was in wheat. We had no fences, so we really had a blank slate, which ties into the theory that farmers are truly artists. And we painted the picture of a grass-based dairy farm in our minds with Jersey cows, and so that's what we have here today. When we started, we said, what principles do we really want to follow to set up our operation? And the first one was we wanted to be profitable. This isn't a hobby. And so we said, what will make us the most profit? And we immediately decided on the Jersey cow. She's the smaller brown cow, the second most popular cow breed. And she is extremely efficient at converting grass and forage into milk. The other thing we decided on was to be a grass-based dairy farm, which utilizes the sun to generate energy and grow the grass and is a cheaper form of feed. Our second principle was environmental stewardship. Our farm is located at the headwaters of the Chesapeake Bay, and we thought it was critical that we preserve the environment as much as possible. So in that regard, we decided again to go with grass-based dairy farming. Our third principle is being involved in the community. And because we're a mom and pop operation, we don't have a lot of time for meetings, so we wanted to bring the community here. And one of the things we do is host all of the third graders, all 5 third grade classes from the elementary schools in Kent County over a 2-day period, and show them the farm and show them how to milk a cow, and talk to them about dairy products and nutrition and the benefits of calcium in milk. We also host other miscellaneous groups from colleges and universities to farm groups to Audubon Society groups. And then thirdly, we host our farm dinner, which we will see you at here shortly. We love to bring people to St. Brigids Farm, and we're really proud of our farm and our farm name. Our farm was named after St. Bridget, who's the patron saint of dairy maids and scholars. So I'm the dairy maid, I do all the milking. Bob's the scholar, he's the veterinarian. So we thought it worked perfectly. Hi, here we are in the dairy barn. This is my milking parlor. I milk 75 cows a day, twice a day, every day. And it takes me about 2.5 hours to milk the cows. I milk 16 cows in a batch. I have 4 full batches and then 1 extra batch of 11 cows. So after I put on my gloves, I take a cloth towel and wipe off every other cow to get rid of any excess dirt. Then I'll go through with my iodine dip and dip each cow. By the time I'm done, each cow will have had 30 seconds minimum time for maximum kill of any bacteria. Then I'll go through and I hand strip each teat 4 times for milk letdown and see if there's anything abnormal. Then I'll wipe the iodine off with a cloth towel and put the machine on. And then in about 2 or 3 minutes, that cow will be done milking, and we have a little bit of a high-tech milking machine here, and that has automatic takeoff. So when the cow is done milking, the sensor realizes that and the machine comes off automatically. Then at the end of all 16 cows, I go through and I dip with a different solution to make sure that there's no milk left on the teat end for bacteria to grow on. And then off they go. They'll go get something to eat, get a drink of water, and then they'll go out to pasture and spend the night outside.
So on St. Brigids Farm, we have very little equipment. What equipment we do have is quite unique. And that's partly because our farm is unique, being a grass-based dairy farm. On many dairy farms, there will be tremendous amounts of equipment and steel used to harvest products. On St. Brigids Farm, the cows do the harvesting, and the cows do the spreading of their own manure. So really, we have to have very little equipment. Behind me are our 2 favorite tractors. The green one is a modern-day 2012 John Deere tractor, and the one closest to me is a 1951 Farmall. So the Farmall H, a 1950s vintage tractor with a 2012 tractor, is quite a contrast. And I wanted to use that to explain the contrast that has occurred in dairy farming over those same years. About the time this tractor, the Farmall H, was made, was just about the time when we had the most cows in the United States ever. About 25 million cows at that time. The John Deere tractor, made in 2012, is at a time when we have only 9 million cows in the United States. Now the wonderful part about that is that with 9 million cows, we have twice as much milk produced in the United States as we did in the 1940s and 1950s, when we had 25 million cows. So twice as much milk on less than half as many cows is a tremendous benefit to the carbon footprint when it comes to milk production. Hi, welcome again to St. Brigids Farm. We're at the Heifer Barn at St. Brigids. And quite often when we have visitors here, people ask, what is a heifer? And so I thought I'd run through the life cycle of a modern day dairy cow and how it works on a dairy farm such as this one and many other dairy farms. We do not have bulls, breeding age bulls on this farm. All the pregnancies are a result of artificial insemination. And so a cow is inseminated. Pregnancy is about 9 months. She has the calf. After she has the calf is when she starts to lactate and produce milk. She'll produce milk for about 300 days, and then she'll have a rest period before she has her next calf and starts to milk again. Now the calf that she has is either going to be, of course, a heifer or a bull. The heifers are the females, and we keep all the heifers for future replacements into the milking herd, which for dairy cows is 2 years later after she's born. She will have her own calf and become a lactating cow. We've been talking a lot about grass being grown at St. Brigids Farm, and you can see the heifers behind me are hardly eating grass. It perhaps even looks like straw to you, but actually it is grass. It is oats, oat hay, and at certain times of the year, such as right now when things are quite dry, the amount of grass that we can produce on the farm is not sustainable for having the entire herd of cows, meaning the adult cows, the adolescent heifers, the bull calves, and so forth. Not everyone can be outside. So we store some grass as hay, in this case I say oat hay, for them to have at this time of year. The milking cows are definitely outside on grass as much as possible throughout the year, and some of the animals that have more of a maintenance type diet, such as these heifers, will be brought inside where they're given a supplement of vitamins, minerals, and protein, as well as the grass hay. The bull calves have two options on this farm. We try to add value to their presence here, and about half of the bull calves are fed and finished on grass and sold as grassed finished beef to area consumers and regional restaurants. The other half of the bull calves are raised as meadow veal outside in a pasture with a surrogate mother or nurse cow.
Here we are where we raise our meadow veal. We have 9 calves on 5 cows, and they all have names. We have Poppy, Prancer, Grandma, whose real name is Risk, Nicole, and Onyx. And they'll raise these calves up to the age of about 5 months, and then they'll go to one of our restaurant customers. So here we have one of our environmental practices. It's a fenced-in water ditch. Back in the day when my dad was farming, the cows went into the stream, but that's no longer feasible or advisable. So we have all of our waterways fenced off. This water ditch feeds into the Morgan Creek, which feeds into the Chester River, which goes into the Chesapeake Bay. So we're very sensitive to our practices. And that tree was one we planted back when we started here 15 years ago. And that is one of the trees. We planted several more that survived the deer, and they are good for preventing erosion, as well as providing shade for the cows when they're on pasture.
So right now we're in paddock number 2, one of 18 paddocks that we rotate the milking cows through. The herd of cows goes to a fresh break of grass after every milking, and that happens twice a day, so they get a fresh break of grass morning and night. We have a variety of grasses on the farm depending upon the soil conditions of that particular paddock. Paddock number 2 is a mixture of white clover and perennial ryegrass. It's a permanent pasture and can last as much as 5 to 10 years if we take care of it properly. Right now, because of the summer season, we've got this weed called goosegrass that we loathe very much, and the cows won't eat it very well, and it doesn't turn into milk quite so well as the white clover and very fine and palatable perennial ryegrass. So quite often a question that we receive from not only the public but also other dairy farmers is, what about the waste, the animal manure and urine that gets deposited on these fields? Okay. Actually, it's very, very important. It's very, very important for the livelihood of the plants that are out here, for the grass, and the micro herd that is beneath the ground. If you can imagine a herd of cows on a paddock like we're standing in now, the weight of the micro herd beneath the ground, that is the protozoa, the bacteria, the larvae, the earthworms, exceeds the weight of the animals above the ground. And they're extremely important for keeping the soil aerated, for recycling the manure down to the roots of the plants, and providing tremendous tilth to the soil. And so, for example, right here, just 30 days ago, could have been a deposit of cow manure, and now today is clover and perennial ryegrass. The manure is completely reworked through the benefit of the earthworms, dung beetles, larvae, bacteria, and protozoa.
My dad had a small dairy farm in Connecticut. He milked about 40 cows, and my favorite childhood memory is bringing the cows in from pasture, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy here at St. Brigids Farm. I start my day at 4:30 in the morning. I have the best commute in the world. I walk across the driveway. I set my barn up to milk, feed my cows, and then I come out to pasture with the stars and the moon and bring my cows in. And it's just the best part of my day, and I'm so lucky. And one of the reasons we can farm like this is because we are a small farm.
I often say that there's 4 kinds of dairy farms in the United States today. And I classify them as the expansion dairy, the last generation dairy, the niche market dairy, and the dairy farm of excellence. Actually, at St. Brigids Farm, Judy and I are 3 out of those 4. We're last generation dairy because our children, we have a son that lives in Washington, D.C. and a daughter that lives in Baltimore, so they're not too interested in dairy farming and agriculture, at least at this stage. We have very much a niche market in that we have Jersey cows that have high butter fat, high protein milk that we have added value for, as well as keeping the meadow veal calves and grass-fed beef, and additionally selling excess genetic purebred dairy cows. And then lastly, a dairy farm of excellence in that everything we do throughout the course of a day, a week, and the year, we try to do with excellence, whether it's take care of our cows, take care of the soil, and produce the highest quality, maximum volume of milk that we're capable of doing.
And that requires a lot of problem solving. Most people don't think about dairy farming, especially grazing. Grazing is an art instead of a science, so it's not the same way we do every day the same thing. So that makes decision-making a constant challenge and one that we thrive on, but it's also exhausting sometimes. But it's something that you have to do consciously in order to have a dairy of excellence. But the expansion dairies are some of your best clients.
And they also practice tremendous value for maintaining their farm in a sustainable way, taking extreme care of their cows. So this discussion that we're having about dairy of excellence and how you take care of cows can be done many, many different ways. The way we do it at St. Brigids Farm is just one of many successful ways that it's done.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our virtual tour. Please like us on Facebook.
Or if you have any questions, please go to our website, www.stbrigidsfarm.com, and we'll be glad to get in touch with you. Thank you.